The prospect of an historic defeat in the House of Representatives has forced Julia Gillard to put her Malaysian Solution legislation on ice. The opposition has accused the Prime Minister of running scared after she failed to put the bill to a vote.
After days of toing and froing, crossbencher Tony Crook finally pulled the pin on the government's Malaysian People swap.
I will be supporting the opposition amendments today.
But don't blame him if the votes keep coming.
I'm not killing anything off. It's a position for the government and the opposition to sort out.
Federal Cabinet went into a crisis meeting, a complete rethink on the table. All options up for grabs, including the opposition's preferred use of Nauru. The government leader in the House bought time, dropping the asylum seeker bill down the list.
She is scared that this parliament will no longer support her.
Julia Gillard accused the opposition of hypocrisy, now insisting on third countries being signatories to the UN Refugee Convention, whereas it didn't as late as June this year.
They want to see more votes. They want to put out a welcome mat.
A special meeting of Labor caucus has been called, Malaysia likely to be ditched. While Labor agonises over its asylum seeker policies, its relations with the Commonwealth Ombudsman have plummeted over his lobbying tactics to get more funding for his work with immigration detainees. Alan Usher's been caught out colluding with the Greens' Sarah Hanson-Young on questions for his appearance before a committee.
He knew, I presume, that in the Greens he would get action.
The government says Mr Asher should explain how he's maintained integrity and impartiality. Paul Bongiorno, 10 News.
Well, Labor MPs have held an emergency meeting this afternoon in Canberra to try to resolve the asylum seeker impasse. And National Affairs Editor Paul Bongiorno joins us again now. And Paul, how does Labor plan to get itself out of this mess?
Well, Bill, caucus and the Cabinet today have reaffirmed their belief, based on advice from the Immigration Department, that the Malaysian People swap is the best deterrent against asylum seekers coming by boat. They are hoping that the opposition has a rethink in the next 2 weeks. They have rejected Nauru, the opposition's option, as expensive and of dubious legality anyway, and of being futile. So that leaves them with onshore processing, the status quo of the last 4 years. They accept that there will be an influx of boats, so they're going to have to streamline the processing, and there is talk of a new visa, a bridging visa, something like the temporary visas that the Howard government had, but we're waiting on more details. In the meantime, it's a standoff, and Julia Gillard will be doing her best to blame Tony Abbott.
See what happens next. Thank you, Paul Bongiorno in Canberra.